How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Acid Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of outdoor reviews on the first Sunday of football. Have a little red zone going on over here. Got a little beer going on over here, courtesy of my boy Keith. That would be the Alchemist Dark. This is their Schwarzbier. It's a 5.5% lager. Yeah, done and done. He picked this up like 2 days ago from the brewery, and I'm pumped because I'm really curious to see their take on a Schwarzbier. Because, you think of Schwarzbier, you think of malt forward. You could have a little bit of bitterness going on there. It's not like it has to be devoid of all bitterness. But, so often, a Kimmick cannot help but put the weed into the beer. So, it's curious to see if this comes off a weed version of a Schwarzbier. But it looks the part of a Schwarzbier so far. Pinky finger, malted malt ball colored head, infinite creaminess, and that's dark. I mean, it's what you'd expect. A rich kind of brown darkness to it. Yeah, looks the part of a Schwarzbier. Let's get a nose. That smells really rich, kind of chocolate malty with a little bit of caramel. There's a little bit of bittering, and that little bit of bittering does have a little danky kind of weediness to it, but it's pretty reserved on the hop front, at least on the nose. Really rich kind of cooking with chocolate added caramel kind of sweetness kind of thing going on. So yeah, it smells really nice. You got that little bit of kind of a little molassesy vibe on it, and it just comes off as a really kind of sweet chocolate forward kind of Schwarzbier. Yeah, it smells pretty awesome. I'll dive right in. Cheers. That's MFN delicious, is what that is. Yeah, 1, tiny beer, 5 and change. 2, dark beer, perfect for me to kind of bitch and moan about metallic astringency. Not there at all in any form or fashion. Has this rich, sultry kind of coffee chocolate macchiato kind of thing going on. I didn't really get much coffee actually on the nose, but in the taste, it's actually there for me. And it's coffee from the malt. It doesn't taste like there's coffee added to it, but it's nice. So it definitely has this kind of drizzled chocolate caramel macchiato kind of thing going on. But there is that bitterness there. It's not over the top. There's the ever so slightest bit of kind of weedy, danky, kind of just slight edge to the whole thing. Almost sneezing in my beer. Drinks criminally easy. It actually has a nice soft, slightly fluffy kind of mouthfeel to it, but it finishes crisp, finishes clean, and it's just a really tasty beer. Honestly, I've had a Doppelbock from Alchemist. I've had a couple other beers, that were kind of porters and stouts and all those kind of things, and they always have this kind of weedy thing to them. It's the thing that Kimmick is known for, the thing that he rarely can get away from in all his beers. And is a lot of reserved. I see a lot of reservation here when it comes to the aggressive kind of hopping that he typically takes to it. Now, the hops that are there are nice. They're bittering. It's a subtle, super subtle kind of danky thing to it. But it just complements the beer so well because it's low ABV, but it's high impact as far as the malt goes. And that little bit of bittering is just enough to add just a subtle counterweight. It's not even a balance. It's a counterweight to keep that sweetness in check and to make it not just sweet on sweet on sweet. And ends up being a beautifully well done version of a Schwarzbier. It's probably, I would say, it's Schwarzbier. I was going to be it's more like a porter for me. But since it is a Schwarzbier, and since it's so crisp and clean, you can get those kind of lager vibes off of it. It's just an absolutely tasty beer. Yeah. Super great stuff. That, who doesn't like a good Schwarzbier? If you don't like a good Schwarzbier, you're missing out. That's all I have to say. So anyway, let's talk about it. It's one of the better Schwarzbiers I've had as of late. Yeah, it's Mount Rushmore status, actually. I like them classic. When I drink Schwarzbier, that's typically what I want. When they get too Americanized, it's not my favorite thing in the world, even though I can enjoy those beers quite a bit. I have a little bit more of classical leaning when it comes to Schwarzbier. This one is that, with a touch of an American twist on it, but not enough to make me be like, okay, they're just trying to be showy or weird. It's just tasty, delicious, honestly. I want 9 of these right now. Value availability, $13.99, I assume. And I'll leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like Shwarzbier. I mean, porter, stout, low ABV stout, darker beers, maltier beers, old school beers, Shwarzbiers. You'll like this. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little Alchemist right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.